He's the star of The Goonies, The Lost Boys, and the new movie 6 Degrees of Hell. I am talking about the one, the only, the great Corey Feldman. Yes, Corey Feldman talking to me, for real. And no, he did not hang up on me, although I think we got really, really close. This is yet another in the long series of excruciatingly uncomfortable celebrity interviews that you're going to see from me. So, squirm along with this one. Corey Feldman. The movie is 6 Degrees of Hell, and the star is Corey Feldman, the great Corey Feldman, I might add, famous I mean, come on now, Corey. Let's be honest here. You know, do you ever reflect on the fact that, you know, I mean, truly, you are a household name?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know what that means, but thank you.
Well, I mean, let's go through the list. You got Kleenex, you got Corey Feldman, and you got a lot of other stuff. It's awesome.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much the way I was thinking of it.
Now, The Goonies, The Lost Boys, and its sequels, some of America's favorite movies, especially if you grew up at a certain time. You know, Corey, to this day, when I hear Edward Herrmann narrate something for the History Channel, I get the creeps.
Well, you know, they're all bloodsuckers over there, too.
They certainly are. You are kind of the, I don't know, you're an interesting guy. You're kind of the Channing Tatum of geeks. Has that ever occurred to you?
I don't even know who that is, but thanks for the pop culture reference.
Dude, that's the sexiest man alive.
Oh, well, I'm glad you think so.
Well, calm down now. I'm not talking about myself here.
You said the sexiest man alive. I thought that was your perspective. I don't know who it is. I honestly don't. I'm not being coy. I really don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's the dude on, you know, every year People magazine anoints somebody else sexiest man alive, and whoever was sexiest man alive the year before that, I don't know. I don't think they die. I'm not really sure what happens to them.
Well, they're no longer sexy, obviously.
That's obviously true. Tell me about 6 Degrees of Hell.
It's very sexy. It'll probably claim me the title of Sexiest Man Alive for next year.
Well, I knew you were on the short list. I figured it was either Sexiest Man Alive or Celebrity Apprentice. I want to see you on one or the other or both.
Yeah, definitely not going to be Celebrity Apprentice anytime soon.
That's too bad. I'd love to see you on that.
I want to keep holding your breath for that Sexiest Man Alive cover.
So now, do any of the 6 Degrees of Hell involve waiting in line at the post office?
Yes, all of them. all 6 degrees do lead to the post office. If you haven't heard, there's a little movie Joel Schumacher directed a couple of years back about somebody going postal. Michael Douglas character, ring any bells?
That's right, Joel Schumacher, a guy you know fairly well.
A guy I know fairly well. Referencing yet one more time Lost Boys. Amazing.
That's right.
Full circle. We're having
Listen, I know I'm speaking for you when I say let it go back to Lost Boys every so often if that's what it takes. Hey, you're in this movie with you as Jill Whelan, Captain Steubing's daughter on the Love Boat. What was that like?
I have no idea. Never saw one.
You didn't know she was in it?
No.
Are you serious?
Very serious, yeah.
She is in it, isn't she?
I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, the locations for this, they were all in, like, rural Pennsylvania, right? What was that like?
I don't know. There was actually only one. Just so we're clear, I mean, I don't know if you did the research enough, but I only worked, like, one day on this film.
It's too bad that you weren't in rural Pennsylvania, because I was going to ask you, you know, what it would be like to do a barn raising, and did you learn to make jam, and all that kind of stuff. I can't ask you any of that stuff now.
I'm sorry to blow your whole interview.
So listen, what's the weirdest thing a fan has ever asked you to do?
This interview right now.
Hey, I think that accounts for something.
There you go. Well, you can be at the top of a list.
All right, listen, last question. You know, everybody has favorite kind of movies that suck. For a movie that sucks, that means something to you, what's your favorite kind of crappy, cheesy movie?
Geez, there's so many. I mean, should it be one of mine or it should be somebody else's?
I think it's fair for you to be an equal opportunity offender here, whether it's one of yours or somebody else's.
Okay. Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1.
Really? The Jar Jar Binks one didn't do it for you, huh?
No, well, it did it for me, all right. Got me out of it. So, you know, I love Star Wars as a whole, and all 6 movies, I would say, are some of my favorite films in the history of cinema. That said, the first one, Episode 1, seriously fell flat on its face, and luckily they saved the franchise by redeeming themselves for Part 2 and Part 3. But Part 1 was pretty awful. The acting was just terrible. I mean, to see such a big movie that you expect so much from fall so flat, it was kind of shocking.
Corey Feldman is the fabulous star. He spent one. I didn't finish the sentence, Corey. Just because I say fabulous star doesn't mean that's the end of the sentence.
Well, it was the end of my sentence.
Corey Feldman, the fabulous star of the new movie 6 Degrees of Hell. There may be 6 degrees in hell, but Corey spent one day on the movie, and still he is the front man. I personally think that is awesome.
Thank you.
6 Degrees of Hell, it hits Blu-ray and DVD on November 20. I guess the expression is it drops, right, Corey? Isn't that the expression?
It's like a bomb. It's like a bomb all over you. Sick way. No, this is a big, scary movie, this movie. I mean, you wouldn't expect it. It's one of those, like, little independent that you don't expect too much from, kind of like Blair Witch, kind of like Paranormal Activities. You go in expecting, like, what's this going to be, a little cheesy movie? And you walk out of there seeing one of the most horrific, frightening murder scenes that's ever been captured in cinema. That's a true fact.
Finally, we're 12 minutes into this conversation, and you're finally selling the movie. That is awesome, Corey. Thank you for finally getting to that.
I had to plug at some point.
All right, 6 Degrees of Hell, Blu-ray, DVD, November 27th. The great Corey Feldman. Corey, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.